Your cowbell.
After every answer, we'll go.
We're definitely using this for video, okay? So let's go ahead and start. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do at Lumina Foods.
So Lumina Foods is it's a food serve. Overall, we're a food service organization. We've got mainly 4 different businesses and companies, and they're all involved in a food service environment. The largest company that we have is TBHC Delivers, and that's the largest distributor of Hunt Brothers Pizza. And we provide pizza programs, turnkey pizza programs to the C-store industry. We have another company, Jaywalkin' Chicken, that provides another food product to that same market, which is a chicken product mainly. And then we've also got food service workers involved in 2 different companies, Pedestal Foods, which is a contract food service company to provide food service for private K through 12 and a couple of universities. So we provide the food service programs inside of those educational institutions. And then most recently, just this year, a few months ago, we became a franchisee of Qdoba Mexican Eats here in Nashville. So we have 4 QSRs based here in Nashville.
That's incredible. So with all those businesses, of course, you have a lot of employees within your company. What challenges do you guys face, and how do you motivate to solve those issues?
So I think one of the main challenges that we have that every company has right now is finding great people and putting them into the right places in our organization. We've got a great culture, and once people are here, they are. The only thing that we hear that's negative is, I wish I'd found you sooner. So our biggest challenge is, how do we get in front of them sooner, and how do we create that magnet that pulls them in, because we can bring them in and help them have a really great experience. Our company names are not that well known, and so people don't just know to go look for us.
Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, talking about attracting and retaining top talent, why did you choose Center for Victory and the Predictive Index?
So we partnered with an RPO a few years back, and that relationship kind of led us to the Predictive Index. And over the course of the years that we've been using it, it led us to Eric, and the rest is history.
And how do you guys currently use PI within Lumina?
When we first introduced PI into the organization, we used it more from a selection process. We're using it, having candidates take it and doing rebacks when they came on. But over the last few years, we really have realized it's a much more valuable tool than we were initially using it for. So now we use it to create job patterns, which helps us, match a candidate to a job pattern to ask, really specific interview questions. And we've started using it more in development. So those relationship guides and some of the manager scorecards. So that's where we're at this venture.
Yeah. And do you think using the PI software and the behavioral assessment, the job assessment, do you find that to be pretty easy? What are some challenges maybe that you faced early on with that?
I'd say now it's much better than it was. I think the technology has grown like leaps and bounds from where it was when we started. And, we went from the old PI system to the new one. And so I think it's a lot more user friendly. And I think there's a lot more to it and how it's organized. So it makes it easy to implement things because it's easy to find.
And since you guys been using the Predictive Index, and since our partnership started, what are some of the benefits that maybe you guys have seen so far since we've kind of partnered up together?
I would say a huge benefit is that I think our managers have a lot more confidence when they're interviewing candidates now. They have this extra layer of data, of information that, they've come to understand better as we've, as our journey with PI has taken shape. So it's a little less guessing and gut feel, and more, as Carmen said, more targeted questions based on the information that we have about the person and that we've stated about the job or about the seat that we have people interviewing for. And also, I mean, a huge benefit, really, frankly, is you and Eric, Zack, because our managers have met you guys. You've been here for conferences and done training, and that's established a huge, there's real credibility with the tool because they trust you as individuals to be able to help them and help Carmen and us, help them as well. So it's been the tool itself is great, PI, but I think our partnership with you, with Center for Victory has made it even better.
And to add to that, I think, ever since we kind of were exposed to Eric and then been working with you, I don't think PI would have gotten off the ground here in the time that it has without your guidance, because you guys are just a phone call, email away where we can, partner and really strategically plan, like, how do we best want to integrate this into our business? And I think that over the last, year and a half has been, life-changing for the organization when it comes to integrating things like the PI.
Great. I want to ask you guys a question because I know you guys have almost all your job assessments complete. So that's the behavior for the role. So when it comes to comparing the behavioral assessment with the job assessment, do you guys currently use the interview guide?
We do, yep.
And what have you seen when you use the interview guide? Are you guys interviewing, or is your managers doing the interview?
So our managers are doing the interviewing, and I think what's been a value add is someone might look at a PI and say, oh, they're not a fit. Well, I think when you add the layer of that job pattern to it, they may not be perfectly aligned, but the interview guide gives you questions to get to the root of that. Like, can someone adapt to what we're looking for? And I think it's a customized way of asking behavioral questions instead of saying, hey, here's an interview guide, ask these questions to everybody. Whereas the PI interview guide gives you, it's based on that pattern and on the person. So I think it's giving us is this the right person?
And I know you guys are really big on the right person, right role. What have you seen to be the most beneficial within the Predictive Index software for right person, right role? If you can maybe name one or two things that really have helped you guys take your talent to the next level and really identifying the right person, right role.
I mean, I think it goes back to the job pattern because that job pattern is a seat, and so that's the seat. I feel like the behavioral is the right person. I think there's some comparisons there. So, and there's other ways to do, right person, right seat. But I think this helps us, and with another layer of making, identifying that. And I really think, just to be honest, kind of just the behavioral guide, and maybe that person snapshot, because that to me was another new level that we didn't have before. Whereas we don't have to expect managers or people that aren't, PI Jedi-ish people like us to be able to digest it into words, and you don't have to actually go through and digest, the sigmas and the high, low. It spits it out for you. So I think that person snapshot's a great value add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's hard to really say one thing because everything's so situational. It's like in this particular case, I guess if the question is really focused on hiring, than I think the job pattern, because the person is who the person is. The pattern, we get you guys on the phone plus, four-ish people in the room here to help us kind of collaborate effectively and decide, like, these are the behaviors and these are the motivators that someone needs to be successful in this role. So I think that really, Eric asks a lot of questions. He's very insightful. So I don't feel like we have to be geniuses at, at saying the things that need to be said. I think he's done this enough to where he understands us and what we're saying. He understands this business. And so he helps us kind of nail that down really well. So I think the pattern is key. If you set the pattern right, the person snapshot helps that, because it's like, that's not in question, right? The seat, we've defined the seat from a motivational perspective. Now we can bounce information up against that and make the right decision.
Yeah. So we're talking right person, right seat. Have you guys taken that next step to really use the back end of the inspiring piece to really understand how to motivate, how to coach, how to manage the relationship guides? Have you guys touched on that yet?
So interesting you should say that. I know y'all are Traction users too. That's one of my rocks this quarter. Part of what I'm trying to do is integrate that inspiring managers portion into, when we bring new hires on, how are we setting the new hire up for success, but also how do we, make sure the manager has all the information he needs to manage a person the way they need to be managed. So that is coming down the pipeline.
And we can't wait. We'll definitely help you out in any way that we can. And last question, what would you guys say to maybe some companies or leaders or business owners or people in HR that are looking for a tool but really don't know what direction to go in?
I think, I would say look at PI. I think we all, the challenges that face all of us in this low unemployment market are the same no matter what type of individual we're looking for. And I've used other assessments here at this company as well as previous companies. And I can't say that I've ever, used a tool that has been, that has taken, has grown legs as well as this one has inside of an organization. And that goes back to, again, our partnership. I believe our partnership with you. It's the tool. It is the tool because I think it's pretty simple. It takes repetition like anything to understand it, but once you get it, you kind of get it. And our managers get it, and so then now, because of our partnership with Eric and Zack, that, we can continue to grow it and not just use it on the front end of recruiting, but it starts at the very beginning of hiring someone. And we are, as Carmen mentioned, we are focused on taking it to the next level. And she's already started using it with our own internal team, our HR and administrative team, to do some team building and help us understand each other better, communicate with each other better, understand each other's intents better, and just kind of take some of the noise out that can be created when you've got, 10 women trying to work together. So I say give it a look, give it a hard look.
Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of, this is our first client spotlight. So you are the first. We're honored to partner with you. Thank you so much for trusting us, believing in us, and we look forward to helping you guys take your talent to the next level. So.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.